And getting in more and more visuals from the war zone. This one of the Russian troops fighting in the Donbass region. Remember, Russia has recognized the sovereignty of Donetsk and Luhansk, and this is the Russian aggression taking on the Ukrainian troops in the Donbass region. As for the region of Donbass is concerned, both in Donetsk and in Luhansk, we've picked up similar visuals the past few days of how there is a growing sentiment of how troops, Moscow-backed separatists and troops who are now in favor of Russia have been taking on Ukrainian troops, and Russia and Moscow has essentially been claiming all this while that Ukrainians are increasingly launching attacks on the citizens in the Donbass region, to which Ukraine says is a false claim being made by Moscow time and again. But these visuals coming in from the Donbass region, once again Russian forces can be seen in action in Donbass. Already it all started with Vladimir Putin recognizing both Donetsk and Luhansk as independent regions, and that in itself was problematic for Ukraine. Ukraine, in fact, also took this entire episode, calling it a genocide in this particular region and taking it to the ICJ. I believe Brigadier Hemant Mahajan is also joining us on this broadcast to give in a perspective of his of what he believes is going on in Ukraine at the moment. Brigadier Mahajan, your take really, a lot of questions have been asked on whether or not this is the West weaponizing Ukrainian nationalism to checkmate Russia. Do you believe so? Because what's happening in Ukraine is one thing. The Donbass region is a completely different story. You have the people there, Moscow-backed separatists there, saying that it is the Ukrainian troops who are increasingly launching an attack there on the people of Donbass.
How I look at this thing is that basically Russians are trying to get into a lot of psychological war or information war. They are trying to show that the Ukrainian troops are now being offensive and they are going into areas which had come under the Russian control some time back, be it Donbass or be it those two other states which Russia had taken over with the help of insurgents there. However, this doesn't appear to be true simply because at this point of time, the Ukrainian army does not have adequate strength to carry out any offensive action outside their borders. At this point of time, what is more important for them is to ensure that the Russian advance towards the cities and Russians' effort to capture the Ukrainian cities, especially Kyiv and other places, do not bear fruit. So therefore, they are concentrating all their strength in trying to stop the Russian tanks, the armored personnel carriers, the bigger weapons, etc. And since there are a large number of towns which they have to protect, they simply do not have the capacity to do anything more. In fact, the towns which are towards the Polish side of border, there are no troops there at all. The Ukrainian army is mostly concentrated into those 12-13 cities which have been surrounded now by the Russian forces since last 2 or 3 weeks. So it is impossible for the Ukrainian army to carry out any offensive action outside their borders, especially in Donbass and the other two states. They would rather focus their complete energy in ensuring that Kyiv does not fall, because if Kyiv falls, then the government in Kyiv possibly will be neutralized, and that will be a major victory for Russia. So their focus at this point of time will be protecting the capital of Kyiv and carrying out anti-tank attacks, anti-missile attacks on Russian forces, etc., to ensure that their offensive potential is reduced. Over to you.
Thank you, Brigadier Mahajan, for that. Stay on with us. Very important point raised by you, and so has been said by the UK Defence Intelligence, that their primary target as of now remains Kyiv and capture of Kyiv, the capital city of Ukraine. Stay on with us, quickly shifting our focus and also talking about another video that has been posted by Chechen leaders. This is a leader, Ramzan Kadyrov, who on presence of Chechen fighters in the encircled Ukrainian city of Mariupol, has been talking about the latest situation and how the fight back there continues. Take a look.